SMT Nation, we back. Nation, Verizon has been having some outages lately. This one most recently reported has some decent reach to it. It definitely popped up on Down Detector and a lot of reports in a lot of places. Let's discuss that here in this video, and then we're going to talk about what I think is a bigger overarching problem, that needs to be discussed. The article is from androidauthority.com. I'll be sure to link that for you in the description. And if you appreciate the channel and want to support your favorite creators, ways to support us are in the description as well. Okay, so the news, I guess we'll call it late last week, when it first originally happened, was being reported that Verizon customers were seeing no service and SOS only on their phones. And when I look at the Down Detector, as it pertains to like the reach, we saw spikes in certain markets like Dallas, Houston, New York, all right, so East Coast, Texas, bigger states, bigger cities. I mean, those are pretty bad places to get this. Looking at the picture that was provided, where the impacts were most profound, you guys can see the heat map. Places that are red, it was most notable. So you will see some pretty big cities and towns across the country impacted. I see Detroit a little bit, Chicago, Boston, New York, Washington. A little bit out west with the Frisco, LA, and then some Phoenix, and then some Texas, Dallas, and Houston. I'm not sure, what the extent of it was, like how many folks were experiencing it and the duration, but some were reporting some hours. Others were reporting several hours. But service was restored, but data, voice, and text were all impacted as people were basically having no service. Now for the main purpose of this video. I want to kind of pull you guys and get the pulse across the nation. Verizon is and has been known, whether it's through their own accomplishment or through, like JD Power studies and just consumer reporting. Like they've always been known as the most reliable carrier. Across most of the country, it appears to be the case. You look at root metrics data, you look at the JD Power, and then, any type of reliability metrics, they seem to thrive there. And this goes back a long time when Verizon was a calling-only network, right? It's not something that was built as a reputation over a year. It's not new to them. It was their claim to fame, like reliable, large network, calling reliable, those types of things. And recently, we have seen them become less so, whether it's because of data demands, whether it's because of things that have changed on the engineering configuration side. Maybe there's elements of the standalone 5G network core that are becoming problematic. I don't know. I don't have a view into that, right? I'm not an executive at Verizon, nor am I even remotely close to an engineering professional. I'm a network tech enthusiast that is a consumer. And you guys, like me, we're just here on the ride trying to figure out what's what for the consumer space with respect to good information and staying informed. So where I'm going with this is pretty simple. This is a company that has pushed the reliability narrative, and it has been their selling point. At what point do we say they are no longer as reliable as they used to be? Right? You're having SOS only happening, no service happening, and this is not an isolated incident. We've seen this a couple of times at a very large scale like this at multiple points this year. We also saw it last year. Right. And of course, they're operating 5GNR now. Right. Those are components of this. What are they doing differently with respect to fiber and their back ends, operations? We don't know these things, right, per se. But we know that there's a lot of moving parts and it's complicated. So now we begs the question. Has the long time reliability king lost its luster in that claim? At what point do we say, it's really up for debate now? Maybe it isn't just such a slam dunk that Verizon is the most reliable. I'm trying to look at this objectively. I'm trying to do this from a consumer standpoint. And of course, their marketing is reliability. At what point do we say, well, hold on a second, Verizon, you got to pump the brakes. You're having troubles just like anyone else is. And it's not an isolated incident. Occasionally, we're seeing it now more so than we ever have. So maybe they are on a national scale still the most reliable, but we're starting to see kinks in the armor. we're seeing more of those problematic engineering issues or networking issues than we used to. And I was saying, I think maybe it's just the complicated dynamics of operating these networks now. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's part automation. I don't know everything, but the nation will speak, and you guys will tell me in the comment section. Does Verizon deserve to be scrutinized for, having these types of issues while they claim to be the most reliable? Should we look at them a little bit differently and say, well, hold on a second, let's pump the brakes. You say you're the most reliable, but you're having the same issues as all the rest, right? And the responsiveness and the repairs and the fixes and the adjustments, they're just like the rest. That's all I'm saying, is if you're going to say you're the most reliable, you got to prove without a shadow of a doubt that you are. Otherwise, you're just like the others, right? Maybe it's something Verizon has to start steering clear of if we start seeing more of this no service, SOS, outages, down detector camping more than we ever have. Maybe they got to get away from this, right? But what can they sell you on then, right? What are they going to say? It's an interesting conundrum. You guys think this might be a little bit overblown? Do you think that they are indeed the most reliable on a national scale? Talk to me. I'll be looking forward to reading your comments in the comment section below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.